All right, folks. Good afternoon to all of us here inside our live trading room and all of us back on social. Welcome on back here for this afternoon meeting this Monday, end of the month here, perhaps this July 31st. So great to see David with us here, Rod, Leda, Brian, of course, as always. Just a lot of our students here inside our live trading room. And then for all of us back on social, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Perhaps a special big shout out, folks, to one of our longtime students, William Ireland. So he might even be tuning in here on social, perhaps, but I know he's not doing as well. He had a little bit of an accident over the weekend. It sent over a couple of pictures and an update to me just over the weekend there. And I know right now, I think today at some point he's going to be just small procedure, having a pacemaker installed. So with that in mind, just send him your well regards, well wishes, and prayers on top. So William, if you're listening, which I believe there's a good chance he could be, we're all here with you. All of us here at Cyber Trading, all here in support and all here with you as you look to recover. So take your time. No need to rush back just yet, but I know how much Bill loves us here and how much we love him. So, perhaps don't be too surprised if you see him popping inside the trading room, perhaps later on this week. We shall see. But with that, though, hey, the markets are flat right now heading into this afternoon. I was looking for support to hold on the SPY, which, it had so far, and it still has a good chance of, looking to hold support. But we always say here inside our live trading room, holding over support doesn't make us money. That's just part of the equation. So got to see this pop up higher. The SPY, that is, moved back on up, to break new highs heading into the afternoon, perhaps. For right now, GDRX, it's up big right now, up nearly 40% at this point, and still hanging off the highs right now. So definitely going to put this back on our watch list to begin. It's a stock we've had on our side list and on our main list recently over the last month or so. Probably zoom out here on the daily chart, show you further. But GDRX ended up having a big drop off back from last year, pretty much around this time, and you don't want to hold your breath waiting for it. But for as much as the stock drops, not only from last year this time, but also back from 2021, stock has a potential chance to squeeze up. We saw that here, of course, today on SoFi early in the morning, moving back on up once again here to the highs. But it's very similar with SoFi, right? Just new IPO back from 21, fell from 30 down to like $5, $4. Well, this is a really good squeeze here, moving actually back on up towards historical levels, roughly over 13. Has a little ways to go to get there for right now. And the thing with SoFi, at least comparing apples to oranges here between the GDRX and the SoFi, is that SoFi is much higher float, which means, hey, it's less risky, right? But in terms of that big, like gorgeous looking afternoon, attractive, volatile pop that you want to see, SoFi normally is not that type of stock to do it. With that said, though, a little conversation between Brian W. and myself here, just it was like from last week, a little private chat. I had mentioned it earlier here inside our live trading room, though. Some unusual options activity on SoFi, and you always see that crap everywhere, right? But it was just a ton of call activity on SoFi going into the end of the last week. And then with the big pop that we had this morning in pre-market, then after the open, well, hey, you want to follow the smart money, don't you? So, hey, right now, SoFi I'll put on our list too with the GDRX, but I would expect GDRX to have an easier time popping higher given the thinner volume on the order book. All right, so I'll tell you what stock we're not going to trade? Stock we're not going to trade here, folks? SNMP. We're not going to trade this here. It's up 650%. Woo! Yeah, look at this thing. It looks like it got halted every waking second here. Every time it reopened, it got halted. Whether it was a 5-minute halt or a 10-minute halt, you literally couldn't have traded this. Unless if you're just coming to roll the slot machine or play the slots, I should say, and just go to the casino. That's not what we're trying to achieve here. So I actually just only stumbled upon this right now before this meeting started. I was like, oh shit, this should be fun to show the team here, just a little show and tell. I had no clue this was running the whole time. Hey, if you're following the call outs inside the trading room, that we're looking at Yell, we're looking at the SoFi trade. GDRX, I just started the meeting off with, transparently enough. We didn't really call that out as frequent last hour or so, but the QS trade between Yell and PLTR, and there's a whole bunch of other trades that are easier to follow than this, that you're not going to kill yourself trying to make money on, or rip your hair out wondering if you could ever even trade it. It gets halted every time it reopens up. So it's halted right now. So, at this point here, we're going to pass on it. My TradeStation platform running a little slow, I'm feeling. So Yell, at least for right now, Yell moving back over 150, playing with that level. I'd give it a little space around 150 first. It spiked up much higher than there earlier and then pulled back pretty deep. So I feel like it's going to be a little exhausted going into the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, but that doesn't discount it from making a move heading into the final 30 minutes of the day. So very tradable. Yell, definitely a good stock to follow here so far. Got a bunch of cheapies here. Foxo, BRSHLID. I'm going to skip that. All right. ACHR, come on down. Another big squeeze up this morning, at least. Had a great month, seemingly, it looks like there. But yeah, it looks like back from the end of June heading into July. I'm sure that we called it out once or twice. Honestly, there's other stocks that we've called out more frequently over the last few weeks, but we've definitely slipped this in here once or twice. A couple of big volume days back from mid-June, then back in early July, very end of June there too. But either way, though, hey, for right now, it's ACHR. Definitely good day trade. Hopefully more to come on this trade. And then also with that, let me look at the monthly chart again, the historicals more, because you could see like, a doji there at 616, broke over that here today. Outside of that, there really ain't too much historical charting out there. So don't hold your breath exactly guaranteeing the higher high, the real big squeeze up, but it's in as good of a position as you'd want it to be in, right? Definitely going to put this near the top of our watch list right now. MNK, not so much. Pulled back a little bit, fell off from the highs. Good sideless stock. I'll write it down to remind myself for tomorrow morning. That's all. Tupperware. I'm going to pull some of my hair out here looking at this trade. I ended up getting shaken out on this move earlier this morning, right before it ended up breaking higher. And I'm talking from 325. We're talking, folks. Can't all get them right. Can't all be perfect. Got a little impatient on it. And I said, the hell with this. I don't want this to pull back and take another loss on the morning. I was down just slightly, but I was in another position, the QS that was doing well. But this here, I wanted to run up. It just shook me out first, and the damn thing popped way higher. Ended up getting it on this trade with one of my students, Felix, though, off of 4 afterwards. And then from that point, thankfully, it actually led to a much better, much steady move off of that level from there. Pretty surprising when it's already up as much as it was just from the beginning of the day. But yeah, at this point here, it's just kind of chopping sideways. Good sideless stock for right now. I'll come back to it if we need to at the end. Looks like it's starting to pull back a little bit, though, for right now. All right, we keep it moving. So right now, SPY has gone just utterly nowhere since we started this meeting, folks. Now, I want to see a nice bounce back up. We've been doing good, just holding support, but it's not like we're really waiting on too much this week. We're still kind of in earnings season, right? Still got some big names out there this week. A few more. REKR, not doing them. A little thin. AQST, it's only trading just over 1 million shares, but has good volume on the order book, and it is at the highs. So maybe more eyes can catch on to this type of trade here heading into the close. Let's see here. What was the other one we just had? REKR. Yeah, the AQST is trading just a little more volume, not just on the order book, but volume total on the day. So I'm going to kind of lean more towards this AQST if we're comparing the two. Jumia, there we go. Jumia. My speech impediment never gets it right, but either way, stock we're familiar with had a big showing today. Broke out over the highs here back from July so far. So right off of 460, 461. Hasn't pulled back there just yet as support. If it fails to run higher from here, don't be surprised. That wouldn't be out of line of thinking so far. But for right now, definitely in a good position. So I'm going to add Jumia. TWOU, not doing as much now. You got a bunch of these stocks that are like cheap that a bunch of day traders look to catch on as they're squeezing up. Shorts got to cover eventually, right? Novavax was one I was looking for even off of this pop at the time. Ended up failing to really make that stronger run and collapsed back down. So, right place, wrong time, maybe there. There could be more to come on NVAX right now. I don't mind putting this on our main list. Fubo. A little slow right now for my liking. Nikola, I think, has a little bit more life in it. Big 207,000 share order on the ask. I mean, honestly, in relation to everything else, it's not really. It's like double the size, but 280, then I'd say 3 on Nikola. So I'm going to add Nikola here, separate that from NVAX for any of my traders that are dyslexic with me here. All right, so what else we got here, folks? Anything else looking good on the way up? If so, type it in the chat board. Honestly, like number 50 is up like 11%. So I'll need your help from Michael, Lawrence, Brian, Leda, and Kathleen, Ravina, and Billy, and all of us inside our live trading room. Let me know there. I'll just jump over to the loser side right now. If the markets pull back, then let's see if there's anything looking pretty weak to begin here. This looks pretty weak to begin here. All right, so APLS dropping down pretty steadily earlier, just bounced before, but pretty liquid order book. So I like this here so far, just as a possible trade on the way down. Oh, that's right. No, I definitely remember this, actually. Stock took a massive hit back from earlier this month. We had called it out once or twice over that drop-off, so it wasn't like it was like number one on our main list throughout that week, but definitely called it out as a familiar trade. XPEV, hey, making a nice bounce right now. Looks like the SPY inching up penny by penny here, I see, but I'll need to see a bigger move out of the markets here before I'm convinced. XPEV definitely getting the party started. It was down big to start here this morning after a big drop-off prior to the open. It's definitely volatile enough, that's for sure. Definitely trades enough volume, that's for sure. Let's see if there's anything else looking good here from the loser side, though. Wouldn't mind adding XPEV at the end. Brian says AMD earnings tomorrow. That's right. There I go. My best friend AMD. Michael says same with Tupperware. New meme stock up last month 400%. Came out CNBC also. Just FYI, looks volatile now. Who knows the future? Well, can I give you a little insight on Tupperware? It's the same insight that everyone has here because otherwise we're all adults. We've been around for a little while here, right? So it's to say that Tupperware serves us in a great way in life, right? They have a product that is well known, that is very usable. Hey, Bill, we got Bill Ireland joining us today, this afternoon, inside the trading room, let alone social media. Bill, I thought you'd be joining us like on YouTube, checking in. So Bill made it enough to join us live inside our cyber room. Bill, we miss you here. Says my car is next. I'll chat you on that soon. With just a bunch of these trades, including Tupperware mainly. I mean, at least Tupperware is a product that serves a great use, right? Food preservation. We need food. And if we're trying to preserve it like for a few days at a time in a refrigerator, hey, Tupperware is a pretty good company to buy products from that regard. Now, of course, nowadays there's like all different retailers that make these types of products, but who knows, maybe a buyout candidate in the future, maybe just natural short covering, maybe the meme stock traders out there are all about it, Wall Street bets. It's a combination of everything. Right. And then on top of that, Warren confirms not only AMD earnings tomorrow, but you got Tupperware earnings tomorrow. So let's jump to Tupperware. So again, it was up 37%. It's a little flat right now, a little exhausted. I feel like it's made the brunt of its move then if earnings are set for tomorrow, perhaps a little anticipation ahead. But, I'm going to keep it on the side list. I'll come back to it just one more time before we finish up this meeting. We got a few more minutes left. Brian says it's going bankrupt, so maybe they could be a buyout candidate in the future then. Later says Peloton testing 950 level. Yeah, it's making a nice squeeze there, later. Good call. And not only that, that's not as big of a level. It's a great call. Look at the daily chart. Like 975, it's really 982, 983. That is a slick top right there. Once, twice, third time's a charm, and then really here. So very good call from Leda. I like this trade so much. Going to put it on the top of our list here. On the swing side of things, Roseanne saying Kava broke through 56. So I know Fausto's been all over this Kava trade as a swing, new IPO from like a month ago, and broke out from this pennant Fausto flag, you could kind of call it. Ended up really making a strong run here today. So good shot from Roseanne too on the swing side. Buy the option calls on it if not already. All right, so what do you got for me? Anything else from us inside the live trading room, or if you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook Live, Instagram, Twitter, etc. What do they call it now? X. It's X now. I'm never gonna. It's Twitter. It's Twitter. That's a little silly, All right, so let me know. You see that light also? You see the X light on the Twitter headquarters? That flashing X at night. Oh my God, I got a feel for the people in the high rises next to it. There's actually videos. going around from that. Like, people that are like residents around the area on those floors, like, oh shit, I got to deal with this flashing X. Seriously, if anyone's like epileptic, like that's got to be terrible. It's a little bad business thinking there. All right. So anything else, folks? Up, down, left, right, more than 5% that you'd want me to look at here? I'll take a look at QS, a sideless stock, my own. Definitely invested in this trade throughout this week. Has been doing really well from 12.50 out the get-go and now holding over 13. If we could hold over 13.27, we are in business. But otherwise, though, it's just going to remain on our side list, kind of like with TUP. Nikola is on our main list right now. I'd put that on the main watch list so far. Don't sleep on Tilray either, but it's just going to have a tough time off of $2.50. The XPEP trade I do like. I'm going to slip XPEV on our main list here to wrap up. All right, so I don't want to build out too big of a watch list anyway, right? So in total, in summation, how many do we have here? We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 stocks, and that's excluding Tupperware. So we're going to keep Tupperware on the side. Stick with these 11. It's almost a maxed out list here. So start and stick with this list, folks. You are at no shortage of stocks to day trade with this list. There we go. Bill's saying it more so than anyone right now. So scream it, Bill. Scream it, my friend. There we go, folks. So, hey, best of luck trading going into the market close. I'll be in the chat board up until 3:30. And, hey, private chat us if you have any questions for all of us on social media, at least Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Oh, my apologies. Getting a couple late chats right now. Almost at the horn here. I almost didn't see these before we finished up. From Mitch, Plug. Yeah, Plug squeezing up too. Matt also, just catching this now, Matt. I'm sorry. I should have scrolled up here in the chat on YouTube saying, I'm in ACHR right now. You think that it will keep going up? Well, for your sake, I certainly hope it does. It's in great shape. So it's not, too wishful or hopeful thinking than it is just looking at the chart and saying, wow, this is in pretty good shape. So, just continue to see higher lows. Let's make sure perhaps this peak could hold as support now. It just did earlier here, 663 or so. So in good shape, you're in good shape right now. Now here, big volume spike level roughly around 684. Let's just keep playing that same game. Can resistance turn into support? Trust your whole number levels too, Matt. Join us inside our live trading room and, just to learn more about that as well. So I was just about to say before I caught all the chat there, if you wanted to join us inside our live trading room, just scan that QR code. I'm just going to leave it up there as we conclude. But if you're fancy with your phone, just scan that QR code. Live workshop tomorrow. Just join us there, of course, on top to see all of our students, members there alongside yourself. So that's a week-long trial. But for Daljit, Bill, Larry, and all of us here, we look forward to chatting with you folks soon. For any of our new trial members joining us right now, Daljit or anyone joining us right now, hey, first and foremost, we would want you to be more observant, more in the passenger seat rather. Tongue is getting tied at this point, but for you to just observe more so than anything, not really look to risk any of your hard-earned money, unless if you are already a consistently profitable day trader. There's actually a student that just joined us recently, jumped on a call with him earlier today. He told me, listen, it's not just that I've been following the market for 20 years. I've been day trading for basically that long. He's making money consistently. Not necessarily everyone is at that level when they join us. So, it's good to know, but unless if you're that trader, we wouldn't want you to be risking any of your hard-earned money just yet. Just kind of sit back. We're going to post the list, though, in just a minute or so, Daljit. And then certainly stay tuned for our live workshop tomorrow, Traders Talk, especially if you're joining us here right now. So any questions that you have for me, send over to my email address on that, josh@c2trading.com. What a break time. All right, folks, I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.